It's time for Vechtersbazen.
Vechtersbazen zijn terug op je beeldscherm of in je oren hoe je deze podcast ook tot je neemt. Of nou via Spotify, Apple Podcasts of YouTube is. We zijn er elke week met je favoriete verhalen over je favoriete vechters. En de vechter die we vandaag hebben is een van mijn favoriete vechters. Ze was onze eerste gast toen we in deze nieuwe setting kwamen, ongeveer 1,5 jaar geleden. En haar optreden toen, haar gesprek toen is nog steeds een van mijn favoriete gesprekken. Ze is de regerend Glory Super Bantamweight Champion of the World. Time Bomb, TIFFANY VAN SOEST. TIFFANY, great to have you back.
It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's fight week.
It's fight week!
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I feel we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But our first thing of the show is always what we call dekking laag. So, hands down. Basically like some rapid fire questions. So, I'd like to answer those. Not too many thought in that. And just maybe we have some things to talk about it afterwards.
Cool.
So, are you ready?
Let's go.
Here we go. So, you're the best fighter you ever trained with.
Anderson Silva.
Wow, well, I'd like to hear some more about that. Your toughest opponent.
Myself.
Want to talk about that too. Your favorite color M&M.
Blue.
Blue.
But they all taste the same.
True, but yeah. Same, but different. What's your own favorite fight?
My last one. Against Kobayashi.
That was a good one. What's your least favorite own fight?
The first one against Anissa Mexen.
New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your favorite drink?
Matcha lattes.
Matcha latte? Oh, I thought you were going to say Heineken.
It's up there.
It's up there,
It's
okay.
up there, yeah.
Matcha latte, also nice. Who's your favorite fighter?
Myself. Not in a conceited, cocky kind of way. Like,
No.
not in an egotistical, but I'm just different.
I like it. It's good. When's the last time you cried?
10 minutes ago, probably. This morning, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah?
I cry a lot when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm overwhelmed, I'm a crier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah, I'm a cry too. I cried every fucking Disney movie. I'm the worst. Cut it out, guys. What are you most proud of?
My heart, my resilience, and my ability to stay loving no matter what, through anything.
Good. And what are you least proud of?
Sometimes I'm a bit stubborn and it gets and I get in my own way, and I always have to learn things the hard way, or it takes a really long time before I can just like accept something or go with it.
Mhm.
And it's a lot of extra energy and effort, and if I can bypass that, I think it'll just make life easier for myself.
Beautiful. I think we have, out of all 10 questions, you have like a subject to talk about. Too much to talk about. Maybe your fight coming up, your last fight. You just mentioned your own favorite fight. Your last fight, which was in March, right? In Hasselt. It was also an event we could talk about for an hour,
Yeah.
but we're not going to get into it. Why is that your favorite own fight?
I think I displayed my versatility in a new way. I'm glad I had that opponent who, no matter, when I knocked her down, she stood back up, which forced me to find other ways to continue to try to put her down. But I think of the 4 times that I dropped her, it was with 3 different techniques. So it wasn't all just with punches. I had to use knees, I had to use punches, I had to use kicks. So I was able to really get creative and also show how well-rounded I am as a fighter.
Yeah. Was it in your own mind the first time that everything fell into place during the fight?
During that fight, in a lot of moments, for a lot of time during that fight, I felt like I was kind of like if you go on a ride at Disneyland, right? You're there, but you're just holding on, but you're still there. I felt like that inside of my own body. Like there were a lot of moments where I was conscious of what I was doing, where I was thinking and setting things up and finding my openings. But there was a lot of time during that fight where I felt like I was the passenger in my own body. I was just along for the ride, and something greater than me, call it God, call it my gift. I like to say, like, when I'm in the ring, I enter a dimension, whichever dimension is between this one and the next one, because I'm not quite all the way gone, but I'm not quite all the way here. I was there for sure, but there were moments where I was very much in my own head, but there was a lot of moments where I'm like, I'm just here holding on for the ride.
Took over.
Yeah, something else took over.
Yeah, it was a beautiful fight to watch because we know what you can do. We have great footwork. You can get very creative. All this kind of just beautiful techniques. But that for me, it felt like everything really came together. Like 100% of the picture was there. It was a beautiful thing to watch.
Thank
for
you.
me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Last time we were here, and I said it in the intro. I don't know if you got all of it, but one of my favorite fighters to have here on the couch in the podcast, because the way you express yourself, not only the glorious moments, but also the insecurities and the dark side of your personality and about the fighting, about everything that comes to it. And last time we talked a lot about your struggle with depression and that kind of thing. And just wondering, how are you now?
I'm good. I mean, I have my days. I'm human.
Yeah.
And in today's climate and society and the way the world is, there's a lot of things people are struggling with, a lot of things to be sad about. Everybody's going through something in their own mind. You don't know what anybody's thinking or what they've been through or what negativity or struggles are weighing them down. Everybody has their own. Everybody has their own fight. But these days, like always, just trying to focus on the good things and the things that I can control. And more than anything, just when those negative thoughts and that darkness tries to roll in, I call it the sludge, because it kind of pulls you down.
Yeah.
When I feel the sludge trying to come in and take over and cloud me, the weapon that always prevails over that is gratitude. Because when you're grateful, when you're in a state of gratitude, it's impossible to be unhappy or to be negative. So that's the secret weapon, is to just be grateful. Even for the smallest things, like for the hairs on your head, for being able to walk, being able to breathe, being able to see, being able to taste food, having food to eat. Could be small things, could be big things, could be people, could be being in certain places, having certain opportunities. You can look around at any aspect of your life, big or small, and there's something to be grateful for, as long as you're alive.
Yeah. I know you talked about it a lot, but I want to get into it a little bit. I mean, around this time last year, I think you expressed that you had the diagnose for Asperger, for autism, and that a lot of things fell into place for you.
Yeah.
So can you talk a bit about how does it change your life since then, and knowing what it is, and maybe giving you better tools to deal with it and such stuff.
Getting the diagnosis was like having a giant weight lifted, where for the longest time I thought there was something wrong with me. Like I didn't fit into this world, or I was doing something wrong, or I just wasn't getting or understanding something about life and social interactions that everybody else seemed to know. I was like, what am I missing out on? What is it? What is this missing piece? Where am I not fitting? Like, I'm trying really hard. I watch other people and try to do what they do, and something just doesn't feel right, no matter how hard I try. And sometimes it's okay, but a lot of times something just always seemed a bit off. And when I got the diagnosis, I learned more about it. And as I learned more about it, I'm like, this kind of seems like it fits. Okay, as you're going down the checklist of characteristics, I don't like to call them symptoms, characteristics. Some more stereotypical than other. Like you have Rain Man and things like that. Like it's a spectrum. So there's people who are better at some things and worse than others, worse at some things, better at others. It's not a one size fits all. But as I'm going down the list of all these characteristics, I'm like, oh, that fits. Yeah, that applies to me. That applies to me. That, like, the list just kept getting longer. And when I read that it's often later diagnosed in women than in men, like women are often late diagnosed because of, as women just by nature are more emotional and able to adapt emotionally in social situations. We're better at masking the
just trying to blend
those
in.
traits,
Yeah.
the ones that make us different or weird, and covering them to blend in. We're a little better about it. And I'd been doing that with a lot of things my whole life. But when I finally received the diagnosis and it all made sense, I was just like, oh, there's nothing wrong with me. My brain just works differently. And I use this example a lot. It's like there's the Apple operating system and there's Android.
Yeah.
They're both supercomputers, right? They both function. They both get you to, like, you can do what you need to do with them. They're just slightly different operating systems. And my brain, or my operating system, I perceive senses and emotions and the world, and my brain works in a different way than, they say, neurodivergent and neurotypical. So I'm neurodivergent. So my brain just doesn't work in a neurotypical way. It doesn't mean that it's wrong.
No.
It's just different.
No.
And in a world that's more designed by and meant for neurotypicals, as somebody who's neurodivergent, it's harder to fit in.
Yeah.
But the more and more it's becoming prevalent and it's becoming more understood, and even within myself, understanding myself more and being more accepting of myself and easier on myself, it's making living life a lot easier, and I don't feel like I'm a burden or there's something wrong with me, and I can accept myself more and be more relaxed and comfortable within myself.
Yeah, so it gives you more peace in certain aspects of life.
Yeah, a lot
to help
more.
you also in the process, because fighting is something different outside of normal life as itself, right? So that's a whole burden by itself. But knowing this and finding more peace in like certain aspects of life, it also help you in that aspect.
Yeah, it just helps me learn better in fighting. Like if I'm learning a new technique or a new combo or something, and I know that, okay, if my brain works better associating combos with colors or instead of numbers and words, I can just make the switch in my brain to make it easier on myself to learn something or to create a trigger so that I can remember something better. But as far as my Asperger's and in relation to my ability as a fighter, I think because of some of the ways I perceive things, and like when I'm fighting, certain openings light up in colors, or I see it as a puzzle piece. Like I see an opening, like, oh, my arm fits there. Put it like an example of one of the traits or the characteristics is constantly outlining or tracing things in my mind. And I've been doing this since I was a little kid. Like I remember driving along in the car, looking out the window. I'll either do this with my hand along the buildings and signs and in and out of trees and people, or I'm always doing it with my eyes or with my tongue in my mouth. I'm always tracing it and seeing these lines and shapes and seeing where it fits in, where the opening is. When it's happening in real time in the fight, I see that, but then I know, oh, a punch fits there, a kick fits there. Slip my head, here's the opening for the hook, now there's an opening for the uppercut. Like it almost lights up in color, or I see it. And that, I think, having my brain work in that way really is helpful for something like fighting.
Yeah. I was with Gilbert Eiffel, my podcast partner from the other podcast. We all have discussions, because I think this is very powerful, the way you express yourself, because My son was diagnosed very recently with autism. And for people like you who are very successful performing at the highest level to speak out about these certain things, I think it gives other people like something to look up to. Listen, this is not the end. We're not, because we have this, we're set up for failure. No, you can still be successful. You just have another route, or maybe need other tools to get there, but it's still, you could be great, or you could be the greatest even. So I think that's very powerful. I really appreciate that. But Gilbert always had the discussion, he was like, fighters talking about their emotions, boo, they should just fight. I said, no, just because these guys have a following, and there's a lot of people watching at home who may be going through the same thing and looking at you, listening to you, it's like, she's just like me. So it's good, that you can get inspiration from that. So I think that's so powerful. Just something that needs to be said.
Thank you. No, and that's what one of my main messages is to try to be to let everybody know that everybody is human. Everybody has their issues. Everybody has their insecurities. It doesn't matter if you're a 10-time world champion kickboxer or a famous world famous musician or an actor. We're all humans and we all have our things. And so the more that I can share that about myself to people who seemingly think that she's this champion, her life must be perfect, her mental health must be perfect, her everything. It's like, no, it's not. But I just find tools to manage it. So that, but I'm just like anybody else. I'm a human. We're all on the same team. Rich, poor, man, woman, successful, not successful. I mean, what's really successful anyway? We all come from the same place. We all, it all ends at one point. We're all just on the ride trying to get there together. As Ram Dass says, we're all just trying to walk each other home. And, I'm just here to share that and remind people of that. If I can do it because I'm just like you, you're just like me, you can do it. We're all on the same team here trying to get through life.
I love that. I do disagree with one thing you said just now, though. You're just like anybody else, because you're not like anybody else. I mean, you're a fighter, poet, painter, artist, all of those things, none of those things, I mean, nobody's like that. Everybody's either this or that or the other. How do you, because now, last time we talked a lot about your paintings, right? How you do your paintings with the paint on your knuckles and on your feet, and about your poetry. Recently with John O'Reilly Bang Bang making films. I saw some. I hope we can show a little bit in the podcast, but you saw some really creative filming. Can you talk to me about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm actually co-producing my first full-length film with Johnny Bang Riley, Bang Bang as he's known, Johnny as I know him. He's an incredible filmmaker, an incredible poet. I mean, you think I have a long list of things that I do and I'm good at. His is twice as long and he's twice as good at all of them. He's an amazing human being. We're co-producing a film together, and it's about attention to detail, and all the very, very small micro details that go into what make me a great fighter, from the way that I sleep, the way that I train, the way that I eat. I mean, you think there's a standard way to do it, but in fact, it's not a one size fits all. For, because I have a unique brain. I have, everybody's body is different. Everybody's temperament is different. Their thresholds are different. The way that their motivations are different. So the film covers how we train me to fight the way that I do. And it's all the really small details that go into making a fighter like me fight the way that I do, what makes me thrive. And really excited about it. It's looking beautiful. It's my first time co-producing anything like this, and
all right.
I'm just really
so
excited
you said
about it.
eye for the detail, right at the start. So let's start right there, because one of the things that there's a lot of things that are beautiful to watch in the clips I saw from it. One of the things that captivated my mind right away, there's a shot in the living room, punching the boxing bag, and in the background there's a dog snatching on to whatever, hanging there in the background. Like, what the hell's going on here?
To keep it as close to what her function is as possible. She's a fighter, so all the movements have to be from A to B as fast as possible and back to A, which is her poise, her posture that she uses to make sure she can protect herself from getting hurt and in the position to be defensive, offensive very, very quickly.
So that's Johnny's dog, Pop. Elizabeth Jessica Poppington is her full name. She's a proper lady.
Yeah.
She's a Villy pit bull who's rescued. She was actually going to be killed because she was once a fighting dog. She didn't perform in the pit, so they were gonna, put her down because they don't want to breed her and those genes to continue. But John rescued her.
Wow.
She trains like the purpose for having her side by side in the film is to show the similarities between the spirit of a pit bull of her caliber and a fighter like me. Just that tenacity, that aggression, that perseverance, that drive. So she's kind of like a metaphor for my spirit and vice versa. I mean, I'm not close to being put down if I lose a fight, thank God. So it's not that literal, but just to, she's a metaphor for that fighting spirit, that never say die, that just work, that tenacity. So in that shot, she's hanging from, it's part of her training. It's called a jut. And she jumps up and bites it. And those pit bulls, their jaw pressure is insane. And she just hangs there and just shaking it. And, anytime she would shake it and get aggressive and growl, and I would hit the bag harder and faster and kind of growl kind of matching her energy. And she's motivating.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The whole thing, I'm very curious to see what the end result will be. What's your idea with the movie? Where you want to go with it? What's the purpose?
Just to show the fighting spirit and show the attention to details, what goes into greatness if you want to achieve it, how you have to micromanage the micro things that equate to the big things. And I think the quality of the film is so beautiful, and the message in it. I mean, film festival easily. Yeah. And it's just my hope is that it inspires people to take better care of themselves, and it shows when you do take that great attention to detail, how much it can enhance you mentally, physically, spiritually, and just help you live a better quality of life, whether it's just living, day to day, or if you're preparing for something. It's all in the details.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. I hope as much possible people go watch it. But watching it and thinking about all the things I just listed to do, poetry and painting and the film and all the other things, in my mind you transcended from fighting a long time ago already. But still you remain fighting and still remain the best at your trade in that specific discipline. Why do you still fight? Why do you fight? To
make a living, of course. If I can't make a living, I don't have the freedom within myself to continue to express myself through art and poetry and things like that. Because if I can't eat, I'm stressed. If I'm not stressed, I can be creative, and through my creativity, express myself, and through expressing myself, hopefully inspire others.
Because about said, it's not just about making a living. I mean,
of course.
If you do it just for making a living, then you wouldn't be doing the way you do, because you do it like all in, right? You're the world champion. You don't become and stay a world champion if you're doing just for the money. It's not possible, in my opinion.
No, not at all. And for me, it's about, I've been a world champion 10 times. So I've proven to myself that, okay, this isn't a fluke. I've done it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Okay. All of what I used to use fighting for to validate myself and to prove myself as a person, my vehicle of self-discovery, it's not completely over, because there's still certain levels that I want to reach within that. And as a martial artist, always getting better as a martial artist and as a fighter. But for me now, it's about the platform and using the platform to share bigger messages that are more important. And for some reason, the world likes to see pain. They like to see people inflicting it on others in the form of punching and kicking and kneeing, in my case. So if I can get them to watch me do that, but then listen to what I have to say after or on my journey along to that, and I can, you know, through my physicality, through my fighting, share a greater message and a bigger message about self-preservation, self-love, taking care of yourself, taking care of others, unity, all the important things. You know, for some reason, when you have the belt and you're able to do these things, people pay attention to you. Otherwise, you don't really get the same attention.
Yeah.
So I guess the two main reasons are there's still a lot of personal development that I would like to achieve through it. And as I'm getting older, my reasons and my whys for that change. As a martial artist and a fighter and a creative, it's about being more creative, seeing how much further I can push the bar, how creative I can get. You know, Bruce Lee said, seek freedom from the conformity of styles. So I don't want to fight in a specific style. Like, my style is my style. I don't want to fight like anybody except me. That's why I say I'm my own favorite fighter. So in that regard, as a martial artist, there's that goal to continue to grow. But it's to use the platform to, and be kind of like the living proof that when you take care of yourself, you can do anything. You can live a better life, a better quality of life. And, you know, while people are watching me and listening to me, I just want to remind them, be nice to people, be kind to people. If, you know, you see somebody struggling, like they can't afford good, nutritious food, buy them something nutritious to eat. Even if it's just for a day, they're going to eat better. You know, like, give them a little bit of money if you can. That's one extra night that they can rest knowing that they have food the next day, or their kids can eat or something. Like just sharing these little simple reminders of just bringing people together and making the world a little bit of a better place, just for that moment or that second, that day, that week, or whatever. Because, you know, like I said, it's tough times. It's you know, everybody's going through something, and we all need a break. And if we can provide a little break for each other and be, you know, united rather than divided, then little by little, you know, the world would be a little bit of a better place.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add to that, actually. I mean, I agree a bit about everything you said there, and a lot of things I feel the same about. Just, the way you express it, doing better than most people. So I'm happy that we have people like you in this fight space. Because a lot of time is very narrow-minded, right? It's all about one thing, and even most fighters, and I can't disagree with them, because most fighters just sleep, eat, train, repeat, right? Because they just focus on one thing, and they have to be focused like that, because otherwise in their mind they can become best of the world if they have too many influences from outside. So it gets narrow-minded, and a lot of people in the space are narrow-minded like that as well. But to have somebody like you that can show the other side of it, and that there's more to it, and it doesn't have to be just one way. This is just one of the ways, but there can be a lot of different ways. I think that's very good. I just want to know, coming up like a couple of days from now, big fight, world title fight. How do you focus for that? Because it seems to be so much thing going on.
Yeah. When it's time to focus on that thing, it's time to focus on that thing. And I think part of having Asperger's, that's one of the things that helps. Like, when it's time to hyper focus on something, in that moment, it's the most important thing in the world. So while there might be a lot of things going on outside, when it comes down to the fight, you know, in my training sessions, I'm fully present. During fight time, I'm fully present. So, you know, it's just about having the mental strength and the clarity and the calmness to just be able to bring myself to that point when I need to. Yeah.
So how is the mind now?
I'm just so ready to get in there and do it. Like, the training has been really good. I've been working on being more creative, you know, of course, keeping my condition and my fitness up. But every fight is a new opportunity to express myself in a new way. Every opponent poses a new puzzle to solve, which is ironic because like when it comes to actual physical puzzles, I'm quite terrible at them. But somehow in my mind, when it's live action, I make the pieces fit.
Connecting the pieces.
Yeah. I have a really young and hungry opponent. Her body's fresh.
Yeah,
her mind's
the
fresh.
puzzle of this week is called Sarah Moussadak.
Yes.
From France. Yeah. Young and hungry, upcoming fighter.
Yeah.
What do you see in her?
Man, her body's fresh. Her energy's fresh. Her energy's high. She's got the biggest opportunity of her life in front of her with nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I see her as quite dangerous.
Yeah.
Because I remember how I was when I was 22 and fighting girls with way more experience than me with titles. And I took full advantage of the opportunities. And these girls, this was in Muay Thai, so they're trying to elbow me in the face.
Yeah.
These women, you know, I was still a girl in a lot of ways. But, you know, having that tenacity, that pit bull, you know, in me, I got in there and I handled business. And I'm expecting her to take this opportunity and to come in with that same energy. So being able to put myself, you know, not put myself back in that frame of mind, but just knowing how I felt at that age. I didn't have opportunities this big.
No.
Co-main event. It's the first time women have ever been the co-main event.
Yeah, exactly. I want to talk about that a little bit later because that's a big thing as well. It's on my list actually, but that make her different because she's, like I said, she's nothing to lose. If she beats you, it will be like the upset of the century.
Yeah.
And if she loses, like, oh, it was expected. You're young. You get your time. You know, it's just a little bit too early for you. Well, if you lose, we'll be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have everything to lose.
Yeah. So that makes her probably one of the most dangerous opponents I've ever faced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say? Because I've seen a couple of times fighting lawyers. Last fight she lost, by the way, split decision. But yeah, she's very talented. A little bit rough, diamond in the rough still, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, very talented, very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you see in her, and what do you expect to put against it?
I expect that young, youthful, nothing to lose energy. Yeah. She's going to come hard. And, you know, anytime anybody fights me, I have what they want. I have the title. I'm the champ. They want that. So I expect to get everybody at their best. Everybody's going to go through their hardest training camp to fight me. Everyone's going to be at their sharpest when they fight me. And I'm expecting no different from her. And from what I saw in her last couple of fights that I've studied, she's sharp. She's good. She's aggressive. She gets hit, keeps coming forward. Mm-hmm. So I'm expecting that, you know, even more than her last ones because this is the biggest opportunity she's had. Yeah. What she doesn't have and what she can't get in her training, she can't find a sparring partner who can fight the way that I fight, and she doesn't have the experience that I have. And that's just going to come with time. But like I said, she's a dangerous opponent because of the things that she does have in her favor. But I do have my unique style in my favor and my experience and my skills. So it's going to be an exciting night.
Yeah, is it also something, like we said in the last fight, everything came together, right? All the creative, all the elements you have in your game. Is it something that you've been trying to develop even more, take it to the next level, be even more unpredictable even? Yeah.
And a lot of the times I get in the ring and I have a game plan in my head.
Yeah.
And my coaches tell me what I need to do, and the bell rings, and it all goes out the window, and I just do what I do. And, you know, I have been training and I do have a game plan, but I've also been creating. You know, when I train, I'm also creating. And if some of that manages to come out in the fight when the opportunities present themselves, then I'll be happy. Yeah.
Co-main event, like you said, on a big event. 4 title fights, no less. With, of course, Butter and Alistair being the main event. But, yeah, directly behind them, the co-main event.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who?
Some guy, yeah.
Some big guys?
Yeah, some big guys.
Some big guys who've done this before?
Some old guys,
yeah.
No. No, I'm old. I'm the old one here. But, yeah, so that's a big opportunity. It's also a big statement, right? I have 4 title fights and the women's fight is ranked highest in that order. Yeah. Does that mean anything to you?
It really does. I'm super grateful for the opportunity. You know, Gloria's, they've shown that they support what I'm capable of, and they believe in me, and so I'm grateful for that, and I feel like I've earned it for sure, and I'll continue to prove that I deserve that, but to be a little bit of a fangirl because I came up watching like K1 and you know, so you see the names on the bill, Hari, Overeem, Van Soest. That's kind of like, look, Mama made it. You know, like it's surreal. It's really cool. I mean, I've been a professional for 11 years. So better late than never. And yeah, it's something that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also, you have been very vocal about this, you know, that the women need a bigger stage, that they're just as good and or even better as the men, you know. And I think your speech after Collision 1, where you became champion, is one of the most captivating speeches.
Are you crying right now?
I can remember. No, I'm just coughing, so I'm not emotional. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold. Sorry, I get so emotional.
I'm the crier.
No, I am too. Point proven. Yeah. But now you've always been very vocal about that, and so now I think it's a good sign that the sport is developing into that you now, as a women's world champion, are co-main event. I think the next step should be having you as main event, and that's I think the last step, because you look at UFC, and UFC is like, till a couple of years ago, Dana White was like, no, don't want any women. No women is ever going to fight for UFC. And then there was Ronda Rousey, and then the rest is history. And now even last weekend they had a women's main event next week. Mm-hmm. So for the first time in the company's history, they're going to have 2 back-to-back women's main events, which is also a historic thing. So people in MMA space are much more used to it. See 2 women in the main event. It's more common than not at the moment. Mm-hmm. And kickboxing has a little bit catching up to do with everything.
That's okay. I'm still working away. Yeah, I'll make it happen.
Yeah. Is that the goal? Is that the dream?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think I'm getting to the point in my career when, you know, when that finally happens, I won't say if, I'll put it out there. When that finally happens, I can say, yeah, okay. Yeah. I've made a dent. I've made it count. I've done my part. Yeah. You know, because I've been talking about it, you know, that will show that, yeah, okay, I've done it.
Yeah. How far off are we from that? Because I feel that the only thing missing at the moment for you to make that possible, to make that reality, is a equal rival, which you don't really have. And not to take anything away from the Sarah Musadeks and the other girls you're facing recently, but Anissa Maxson was your nemesis, right? You had this real life rivalry going on, and I feel that that's the only thing that's missing at the moment, that for you to have somebody to compete against, also to make yourself better, but also for sure. to sell the fight.
Got some plans.
Yeah. You got some plans?
Got some plans.
Spill the beans, come on.
I'll have to wait till after this fight, one fight at a time, but it might happen soon after the fight. The plan will start to unfold.
Yeah, but you can tell me there's nobody, it's just you and me.
And everybody else listening.
Nobody listens to this. No, okay, but you have some plans. Yeah,
there's a couple of names that I think would make, that could definitely be main event material. Yeah. Some unsettled business from the past.
Yeah, is it somebody you already fought in the past, maybe? I don't know, there's one name that comes to mind to me, but could be. Yeah.
We'll just keep this as the teaser, and then everyone has to tune into the fight to find out more.
To be continued.
Right.
I'm very bad at, these secret surprises. I want to know right away. But Christmas, I always open my presents like 2 days before. I'm terrible with that. But
this one, it'll be worth the wait.
Okay.
And you don't have to wait that long. It's Saturday.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You know how long that is? All right. Talk to me a little bit about, because I saw you've been preparing Germany a lot for this fight. What's been going on there?
That's where all my unorthodox, because I'm a different, unique, wacky, eccentric.
The underwater training.
Whatever you want to call me. That's where all my unique, eccentric, different training happens. Yeah. At John's. He takes me through workouts where in between the conventional stuff, like hitting the bag and running, we're doing a lot of unconventional things because in a fight, anything can happen. And in a fight, you're usually tired, right? So you have to be able to keep your wits about you, keep calm, and think clearly while you're tired, while someone's trying to punch you in the face and kick you in the head.
Yeah.
So adding elements like a pit bull attacking my arm, like on those bite sleeves, while after finishing a round on the bag, doing a sprint on a bike, getting off, having to balance on one leg and recite poetry, things like that. Just completely different and unique training to prepare the mind and the body for the unpredictable elements that most likely are going to come up in the ring.
Wow.
Yeah. And then as far as the underwater training goes, it's the same thing. It's keeping calm in the clutch, doing something underwater when you only have one breath and everything in your body, all these alarms are going off, screaming at you like panic, I need air, I need air.
Yeah.
That's when you have to relax even more and you can stay down longer.
Yeah.
And then the physiological aspect of that, having your muscles work with that lack of oxygen, they get used to being able to perform and work with less oxygen. So when you're in the ring and you actually have oxygen and your muscles start to fatigue, they're used to it and they can continue to work.
Just wiring your brain to stay calm in panicky situations. Is that it?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit also if you take an ice bath or take a cold shower. I recently started doing like the Wim Hof thing where every day after your hot shower you turn on the shower for like 30 seconds in cold and you try to expand it to 40 seconds minute or whatever, because it's also the first reaction, and then when you start breathing wrong then you panic, and then it's same thing in a fight, right? If you get punched all of a sudden, is that the kind of thing you should try to mimic then? Yeah,
exactly. It's the same, like those first 5 or 10 seconds when you jump in an ice bath, everything in your body is screaming, cold, oh, uncomfortable, get out, your breath changes, everything instantly changes. But you can use the power of your mind and the power of your breath to slow it all down. You can even like lie to yourself and be like, oh, this is warm. And you can trick yourself and use whatever it takes to just get you to that calm state. But it's basically, it's calm under chaos. Learning how to stay calm when everything else in your body is telling you that there's like all these alarms going off.
Yeah, it's also ever seen? I think it's even David Copperfield who at one point broke like the record for holding his breath on staying underwater for the longest time for like I think for like 30 something minutes or something.
Yeah, that's insane. Did he do it like in a tank floating above like? There's like a big tank of water way above the ground in a city where people could just watch or something. Yeah. I think that's where he did it.
Yeah.
Or he did something like that.
Yeah, it's weird because I think that's like methods where like Navy SEALs, they get trained to stay on the water a long time and they can expand it. Well, I go maybe a minute and then, if I go underwater and they can do like 12 or 30 or something. I don't know exact numbers, but way longer than the average person because they trained. And he did it for like 3 times longer than that. And the way he did it, because he sometimes loses consciousness at some point. He really...
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it, you have to be careful because that does happen, because on a physiological level, you do need oxygen to your brain and to your muscles for them to function properly. But like anything else, like when you weight train, your muscles grow, but they're not going to go from small to big in 1 or 2 sessions. So it's the same with this type of training, eventually, like my first few sessions doing the underwater training, I think my longest breath hold was a little bit like a minute or over a minute. And my best, after going consistently once a week, I was able to hold my breath for 2.5 minutes. My goal is to be able to do it for one 3-minute round, like a whole kickboxing round.
Yeah. It's insane. But it's also what amazing about these kind of things is our brains are wired, right, to believe that we have certain limits. We cannot go past this point because the human body is not capable of it. So, and then because of that, we're not capable to pass that point or that limit, and that you can train your mind to go past that and go way beyond that, and that's so much more possible than what most people believe. I mean, and the things you're doing, I think that addresses to that a lot.
And the only way that you can do it is like you have to put yourself through that extreme discomfort, through that pain, to know that once you can overcome it or can get through it, you've just leveled up. You've kind of like stretched your ability to do that.
Detach yourself from the limit.
Yeah, but you can't, like in theory, you can, I can do it if I set my mind to it and okay, I know it makes sense. But until you actually physically do it, you have to cry the tears. You have to feel the pain and the agony, but you have to stay with it. And once you get to the other side of it, then you truly realize and feel like, okay, I can do it. My body is capable. My mind is capable. But the process, that's the hard part. But that's also the reward.
Yeah.
The reward is in the work. It's not at the end. The actual reward is doing it, even though I'll admit it, like while I'm going through those points or those thoughts or that pain, everything in me is like, I don't want this. I can't do it. You know, but something, I hold on and I keep going through it. And that's when I start to feel the strength and the realization that I am capable of it. And I can sit here and talk about it confidently, saying like, yeah, I do it all the time and this is what you have to do. But I'm going to be 110% real. I struggle, man.
Yeah, don't try this at home, kids. No.
I struggle. I really do. I really struggle. But that's what I said, what I'm most proud of is my heart. Because even through the struggle, when my mind is telling me, I don't like this, I can't do it, I don't want to, fuck this. You know, my heart, something is louder in my heart than in my mind. And then when I get to the other side of it, then all the confidence comes in and okay, yeah, I'm cool, I'm shit, I did it. Or it could be like a quiet confidence, like a gratitude. I'm like, I'm really grateful that I was able to do that. And I really did have to go through all that shit. I really did have to feel all that and be on that verge of just saying, fuck it, you know, before I could actually realize and feel the benefit of persisting through it. And that's a really fine line. It's a weird place, you know, but, you know, that's why I'm so grateful for my heart, because no matter what my mind tells me at times, something, it always gets me to the other side.
Have you ever pushed yourself so far that you felt it was like getting dangerous or out of control?
Physically, no. Mentally, emotionally, yeah. Where it's like, at what point is this gonna make me better, and at what point is this self-abuse? At which point does this actually weaken me? Or traumatize me? At which point is it just about challenging myself without a purpose, just going too far in that? And you know, that's a place I go in my mind sometimes too. And I have to determine, is this one of those sludge voices, or is this something I can push through and come out on the other side and be better for? And so if you ask me today, like right now, like that's kind of my biggest challenge and my biggest struggle, because I have been pushing myself a lot mentally and emotionally. And I do think, man, this is self-abuse. This isn't good for me. This is driving me crazy. This is going to make me lose my shit. This is the straw that's going to break the camel's back, you know?
Just stretch it a little bit too far now.
Yeah. But somehow, some way, it's God, is it the people that support me? Is it, you know, like, does it come deep from within me? There's always something that gets me to where I need to be, and I get to the other side, and I can sit and, man, Tiffany, you're a baby. You were fine. Look at you now. But look, you were gonna quit. You were gonna quit. You know, like. But then I laugh at myself. But then I also look at those moments, was like, all right, you need to toughen up there a little bit, or maybe you do need to give yourself more credit believe in yourself a bit more. Yeah.
That's beautiful. One thing I was wondering, who's going to be in your corner Saturday?
I don't know. Am I allowed to say? There's going to be a surprise. It's a surprise. Surprise. Lots of surprises on Saturday.
Also a surprise.
Yeah.
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 But if it's a surprise, I suppose it's not going to be Lucian coming. No. Well, why? What happened?
I'm a fighter. You know, we're talking about how I'm unique. And I feel like I do my best when I'm able to, I guess, use a metaphor of a bee going to different flowers to make the sweetest honey. I feel like I'm at my best when I have the freedom to get what I need from all the different flowers and put all those elements together to get the final product. So that's what I'm continuing to do. Yeah.
It's just not really surprised me because things go the way they go, but he was one of the main reasons for you to come over here to train and to develop your style with him. So what made you realize that you needed something different?
There's just certain elements that I wanted to add that I wanted to have the freedom to add. Yeah.
All right. All right. And I'm really making me curious. So, surprise for the post-fight speech, surprise for who's going to be in the corner, surprise for...
This training camp has been full of surprises, but that's life. Life is full of surprises and twists
Good
and
surprises,
turns.
bad surprises.
It depends on your perspective.
Yeah.
They can be bad if you think of them as bad, and they can be good if you think of them as good. It just depends on what you want to focus on. Sometimes the sludge will make me think that they're bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes gratitude and fate and somebody or something else's bigger plan allows me to put trust that I'm always where I need to be. I'm always in hands that are greater than mine, and they put me to where I need to be for one reason or another. And physically, this training camp has been good. Like, all the physical things have been in place, and I've grown a lot physically. My condition is good. My techniques and my skills have improved. But man, we're always in transition. We're always changing and evolving and growing. And I feel like mentally, emotionally, it's been more of that training camp. Than physical. I mean, just we're fighters. We punch, we kick, we knee, we sprint, we push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups. We all do it. They're all the same combinations. That training is all the same, right? But this has been very mentally
challenging,
and a huge opportunity for a lot of growth mentally. And it's my hope that the result of the fight proves that to myself and to everybody watching and who's listening to this. Because I've been going through it in my own head and actually speaking about it now, having the words come out. It takes a different form, and I'm even learning as I'm hearing it come out of my mouth from myself right here in this moment. It's sometimes the physical things are required for the mental things. Just usually the mental things are required to achieve the physical things. In this case, the physical things have been the catalyst for the mental growth. And I'm still in process. I'm still in that transition. It's still not Saturday. I still haven't gotten in the ring.
No.
There's still a million different elements that could come into play between now and Saturday.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and you really realize that better than most. I think one thing, I'm super old now. But one thing because when you're younger, growing up, well, like when I reach this point, my life will be complete. Or I just need to fix these, and then I'm going to be fixed, and then it's going to be done. It's going to be like a finished product. And at some point, you realize it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Until you die, it's never going to be a finished product. And I think the moment you realize that and you come to peace with that, I think then when you make a lot of growth, make a lot of leaps.
I think some of the biggest mistakes that I've made in my life mentally have been when I've reached those, what I thought were the conclusions. I'm like, okay, this is it. Now we're good. Or when I get here, I'll be good.
Yeah,
okay, I've achieved this, or I'm here mentally now. I'm good. And every time I've foolishly and kind of like boldly made that little claim within myself, not even outwardly.
No.
Life came and kicked me upside the head and was like, you're wrong. Watch this.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to learn to not ever do that again. Nothing is ever final. Nothing, like as far as our mental growth and personal and spiritual development. Life is always going to be able to throw things at us that are going to require us to adapt, to change, and to grow. And if we stay stuck in our old ways of thinking or our usual ways of thinking, and we refuse to adapt or to learn or to grow, that's when things go bad, and that's when you get stuck. So it's about being open-minded, being having the neuroplasticity and flexibility within your mind and your spirit to. This is also part of the autistic spectrum, is like change is really difficult, because once I get comfortable with something and I like it and I think that's it. My brain thinks this is it. We're good. This is it. So, again, I talk about change and like I'm good at going with the flow and accepting it. No, man, it's painful. It's difficult for me. But in knowing that it's going to continue to happen, if I can prepare for change instead of being set in my mind thinking like, okay, this is it. It's going to be a little bit easier. It's never going to be easy.
No.
Change is never easy. When you welcome it and you want it, it's easy. But anything can happen at any time. So it's like you always got to be ready for it. And I feel like with the way my brain is, it just makes it a little bit harder for me, because I can accept it on a logically, okay, that makes sense. But actually going through it, it's a painful process. But it's always going to happen. Everything always changes. Not everything happens the exact same way, the exact same time, every single day. Even as much as you want it to, or as much as you try to force it to, there's always going to be something or some element, or if there's other people and their energies involved, friction is what causes energy. There's always going to be things that cause friction and cause different energies. And, that's life. We can get into the physics, we can get into the chemistry, we can get into the metaphysics, make me sound way smarter than I really am.
No, it's the thing. Listen, I can listen to you all day, and I think you're one of the most profound and philosophical, deep speakers I know, not only in the fight space, but in general. And still, I feel I've only seen 5% of it, we only scratch the surface. So I don't know, I feel we have a lot more talking to do, but we're going to get plenty of opportunity for that. I want to ask you one thing, because on the show we have two elements. One is called the Mount Fight Mode. We did that last time, so we're not going to go into that again. The other one is the time machine, where we give our guests the opportunity to go back in time and either correct or relive a moment. And we did that last time as well. I was just wondering, maybe this has been a while, like a year and a half, has that moment shifted? Is there something else that comes to mind now that you would really like to relive, or maybe correct in your past? If not, it's fine. Then we keep it like the way it is. We don't have to do it. Don't fix it if it's not broken. No?
I mean, I think all the things that were broken led to me fixing things in different ways to get me to where I am. So I know it's kind of cliche to say I would never change anything because it's gotten me to where I am today. And it's made me who I am today. But yeah, exactly. Cliches become cliches because they're so true and they're so often repeated. The ego, different story. I'd go back and I would change this and that and this and do all this over because it would have prevented me from a lot of shame and pain and suffering and things like that. But ultimately, no, I'm proud of who I am and where I am today. I know I still have a long way to go, but without the things that have happened and the choices that I've made, I wouldn't be who I am, where I am at this exact moment with these exact thoughts in my mind, these exact feelings, emotions, theories, philosophies. Had one thing been different, this wouldn't be happening right now.
No.
Yeah.
No. So I totally agree.
Yeah.
There's nothing else left to say. There's a lot of things left to say, but for this moment now, just to wish you best of luck for your fight on Saturday. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all the insights, all the deep thoughts you shared with us, all the amazing things you're keeping secret for us for just now.
I'm just as excited as you are, man. Really, really. But Saturday is only a few days away. So Saturday it is.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right. Thank you. Jullie allemaal weer bedankt voor het kijken en voor het luisteren. Sorry, ik doe a little Dutch again. Just the beginning in the end. It's alright. Bedankt weer voor het kijken en het luisteren. Check haar gevecht zaterdag. Glory Collision 4 tegen Sarah Moesadak. Maar check haar ook gewoon sowieso om alles wat ze nog doet buiten het vechten. Om het is te veel om op te doen. De kunst, de poëzie, de films die ze maakt. En alle dingen die ze zegt. I hope there's many people as possible watch this just for the things you say, and not only in the fighting space but in general, because I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned, a lot of wisdom to be shared. So that being said, allemaal bedankt. Vergeet ons niet te volgen, deel, like, abonneer en dan zijn we de volgende keer weer. Oes!